Hey everyone, welcome to FO Golf Channel. Tonight we're going to try to finish up episode on release. This is part 3 of the release. And tonight we're going to talk about what you need to do, the do's. Alright? So today I'm going to be very specific about the stuff that I have talked about. Really, if you watch a lot of our episodes before, I've been talking about arm rotation and why you shouldn't keep your left arm locking straight. Right? So on the downswing, you must do this. On the downswing, when you get to the top, on the downswing, once you shift and turn your body, assuming you're able to maintain spine angle, your left arm is actually, because the pulling of your body, there's a lagging feeling of this pulling. Your left arm is actually already turning at this position. Okay? The truth is, because the turning motion here is what's going to allow you to maintain a 90-degree angle. Okay, in the future episodes, I'm going to get really specific about this 90-degree angle. But today, we're going to just talk about what you need to do on release. So, clear the hips, turning the body, the arms is turning there already. It looks like this. Okay. Now, what happens right now, it looks like my club face is shut, but the truth is, remember, a downswing is less than a second. You should not focus on trying to hit the ball with a square face. Like I said to you before, that if you're focusing on a square face, chances are you are already slowing down. Okay? Understanding our human mind, you cannot rationalize something this fast. Okay? It just has to go. But I'm going to tell you what is happening with your body. Your left arm is turning. And the truth is, if some of you are playing tennis, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're hitting a top spin. Okay? This is what I call the FO Golf primary motion. If you want to play golf carefree, you must do this. The left arm rotation. Okay? Now, understanding why the left arm rotation is so important and it has to feel like you're rotating here. The truth is, if you look at the club right now, if I do this, if I let the club go, the toe weighted, because the toe is actually heavier, it wants to turn. Now the cliche is that a lot of you say, hey, let the club do the work. This is letting the club do the work. The club is turning. Okay? Now a lot of you say, well, hold on, man, if the club's turning, how in the world the ball gets in the air? I'm going to show you in the next clip. I have Duffy here with me today. He's going to help me. I'm going to show you how the ball gets in the air. Alright, right now I have Duffy help me to show you how the ball gets in the air. Alright, so Duffy, let's get closer to the ball. So all I need is one ball. A lot of you think that the ball getting in the air is based on this motion. That's actually not true. But in the future, if you were talking about spin, we might get into understanding what you do with this motion. With FO Golf, if you're doing it with this motion here, that's called a block spin. But understanding right now, what we need to do is that I'm going to show you how the ball gets in the air. I have an iron here. Watch this. Oh, it just hit my mind. Watch. You see, notice how the ball actually pops in the air. And do it one more time, Duffy, you're catching it? See how the ball actually pops in the air based on my club. Look at that. That was a good one. So in other words, now Duffy, go ahead and get to the ground, please. Notice what I'm doing with the club rotation, right? If I'm rotating club, watch this. I'm going to do it very slowly this time. Notice how the ball actually pops off based on the rotation of the club. Okay? We'll do one more time. Okay? We'll do one more time. You got it, Duffy? So you notice how the ball actually gets in the air and my club's doing this to the ball. Okay, the club's doing this to the ball. Okay, Now in the future, we're going to get into you guys understanding how to control spin. If you remember from our previous episode, I talked about how the club can't get through the ball like this. Okay, or it can't get through the ball like this. Okay, but if you're a beginner, you're an amateur, you have to learn how to get through the ball like this. A release. This is called a release. This is a pure, what I call the full release, full compression. All right. Now we're going to talk about the second do's, the one that you need to do. Okay. We talked about club rotation. The second thing you need to do is understand path. Okay. What is path? First, I'm going to show you 3 paths. Okay. If you're playing T-ball right now, if the ball is right here, if this is the bat, you can hit the ball in 3 different paths. This is the number 1 path. Okay, you can see the club actually goes from here up to here. This is the number 2 path. Okay. This is number 3 path. I call the chop block. Now, understanding most of you amateurs are doing the number 3 path. Think about this. If you're doing number 3 path when you're playing T-ball, you're not really going to hit a lot of home runs. Okay? Now, we're going to do the exact same thing with the golf ball. So watch this. I'm going to face this way. The outside path, a lot of you going inside out, inside out. This is exactly what you have to do. This is the number 1 path. Here. The club has to end up to here. Okay, and that also going to give you, allow your arms and the body have a full extension, which looks kind of like this. Okay, that's the T-ball number 1 path. Here's the number 2 path. So you can see right now, you actually see a little bit of my hands, but the club's down here. Okay. But if I do in the front, you're not going to see a lot of difference from the number 1, number 2. The difference is right there. Now, only very efficient and proficient players know the difference. We will get into that in the future. But remember, most of you doing the number 3 path, which is the chop block path. That's the reason why a lot of you either hit the ground, slice, push, because remember, that chop block path is a right arm path. Okay? So I'm going to show you what is a chop block path. It's back here. Look at that. Look at where my elbow is. Okay? And a lot of you would do that. I'm going to do it one more time. Okay? So Duffy, may I trouble you to give me another club, please, from your bag? Thank you. While Duffy is getting a club, I want to show you the difference between 2 paths. Really, the number 1 path is what I call, Duffy, thank you, what I called the left arm path. Think about this right now. If I'm gripping the club like this, I have a club right here, I have a club right here. And if I just freely swing it without them attached together, okay, I'm going to freely swing it. Okay, so you notice difference between the distance? If I do it this way, I'm going to freely swing it. Okay? Remember, there's no manipulation. If I manipulate it, I wouldn't hit the ground like this. Okay? So you can see the right arm path is always the inside path. So a lot of you playing golf with either an inside in path or outside in path. If you're using your right arm, if you're a hitter, if you use your hand-eye coordination, you will always produce the inside in, outside in path. If you're a swinger, you always lead with your body and let the left arm lead. Okay? But I assure you that that feeling is very foreign to most amateurs. We will get into that later. Learning golf is really learning a foreign language. Okay, so that's the second. Now we're going to talk about third. Third is easy. If you know how to do the first, the rotation of the club, and the path, third really is just based on you trusting your body rotation. Think about this right now. I'm going to get to the top, downswing, weight transfer, turning my body, allow my arms to release. You have to trust that you're not going to use your hands to try to touch the ball or hit the ball. You really need this energy to release through. If you do release through it, your upper torso will throw your arms out this way, with your arms have a feeling of what I call a leathery feeling. I'm going to show you one more time. And that's another reason why a lot of times you see most tour players have a very good extension. Okay? That extension is created by your ability to maintain spine angle and your ability to rotate and extend. So that's what you have to do when you release the golf club. Alright, so now I know a lot of you watch tournaments, PGA Tour tournaments, say, wait, no. I see a lot of times pro players do something like this. Sometimes they do something crazy. Mind you, they're not always hitting straight shots. They are manipulating the trajectory of the ball, the spin of the ball. Understanding F4 golf, at this moment, everything we have been talking about is what I call the standard teaching system for amateurs. Okay? So really, if you're doing the rotation, the body rotation, maintain spine angle, and the correct path, the left arm path, you will always hit a draw. Let me demonstrate. Okay? So in other words, here's the number one path, and you will always, well, I'll pull that one. Let's do it one more time because I got all this wire here. Really, it's hard for me to swing really hard. There you go. I did it right there. That was a draw. Okay. So what happens is that you will always hit a draw. But you can see why hitting a draw is so difficult for most amateurs. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, leave a comment and email me. Thank you. You have a good night.